Hey, welcome back everybody. We got an update to Liael Odium. As you know, this is probably one of my favorite decks in Standard. I got the new upgrade of Liael Animus. I was really glad to be able to secure one of the secret rares because I missed out on the original Odium one, so I'm glad I got this one. I won't spend super long on this profile simply because there's like three, four new cards. So a couple of cards I will kind of breeze through because they are very we've been playing them for the past three or four sets. So we'll just get right on into it. Uh, and I do have plans to attempt to do a profile for the Keter one with this card. But it'll be more of a like a hybrid with Draconis. So keep on the eyes for that. We have the starter, little gear Quetzal. We got Tiglet. We got the Destined Timepiece, which you need. The Life Cessation Colossus, and the Odium. The ride line hasn't changed. It's still very standard, very straightforward. Moving on to the grade 3s, which is a very big portion of our deck, and the Regalis piece, which I guess we could fire that off really quick. We're using Twin Cast. The big change to why we're using Twin Cast over the Fire Regalis is now that everything kind of wants to go first, or will soon be wanting to go first, we want a little more of a defensive option, and there's not exact or beforehand we had an extra card that we always wanted on our field, which would be like the mini Anachronis, but we are not running that anymore, so we're not as desperate for it because a lot of our effects are when played from hand. So just the one or just Twin Cast is perfectly fine. Um, Moving on to the grade threes, we have four copies of Liael Animus. She's gorgeous. I love her. Um, I will say really quick, there is a thing that oh, the mouse is still kind of there. There we go. I will say there are some discussions that you only need three copies of her in a deck, but I, I personally like having the fourth copy because it's an extra way to make sure that you are hitting your Persona ride, which was the only issue I had with the original Liel Odium was you had like three copies of Persona Ride in deck and you weren't always guaranteed to see one. So now with the extra copy, it does bump up those odds by a little bit. But she is a new card, so when you ride her on top of any Liel, you get to pick a Liel Odium or a Liel Amorta from your drop or your soul, and you get to gain its divine skill, which is really cool, and it'll also count for Persona Ride. And then when you ride it on, or when you ride it, you get to look at top five and put a card either to your bind or regress gauge. This deck does the regress gauge, so we'll focus on that. So you put a card to your regress gauge, shuffle up, and then you take a card from your regress gauge and put it into the drop zone. So you're not gaining a gauge, which isn't like that big of a deal. But the really cool thing about it is how you can interact with your gauge now. Is now you can do things like you can like take Banes that you have in there, get rid of them, and then use cards like Anachronis to re-put them back in so you can apply extra 10Ks, draw more cards. It's a really nice improvement of life. And the other important skill she has is activate main. If you did your divine skill this turn, uh, or sorry, if you've done your divine skill this fight, you get to Energy Blast 3. When she attacks, you get to restand one of your rear guards. So it doesn't come up super often because normally you're trying to kill them on your divine skill turn, but you can. It's nice to have like something to do afterwards if your divine skill doesn't necessarily win you the game. So you can have like, I mean, Anachronus if you have even like three distorted banes in your regress gauge is swinging for 33 by himself, and if you persona ride again, he's swinging for 43 by himself. And with a restanding ability from this, it's just a really like nice upgrade to the deck. It definitely, I would have liked it if they gave us the extra attack during like divine skill turn, or at least like during your second turn, but beggars can't be choosers, man. We got 4 Bane. We're never dropping this below 4. There's just no reason to, because it is the main way we get our extra gauges. And of course, oh, you're popping on the sleeve, buddy. There we go. Of course, we have the 4 Anachronis Dragon because he is one of our best rear guards in the deck. That is it for the grade 3s. Still a pretty high count of them because they are searchable with a grade 1. Moving on to the grade 2s, uh, we might actually pull out a couple cards really quick because this new grade 2 does make a couple cards in our deck like worth running. So it's the new Dual Nation grade 2, which is Urut and Liael. This card's really good because it lets you, first of all, on play you can counterblast one to draw a card as long as you show that you're playing a Liael from your ride deck or on your Vanguard, which is really nice. A lot of times you have an extra counterblast somewhere, so it's nice that you can just kind of transition it into a draw. The other thing is when it is bound or put into regress gauge by your Vanguard's ability, you're going to look at the top 5 and add a grade 3 card. Another way to search out grade 3s, which is really nice. And then the last ability, which kind of takes the cake, it gets +5 when attacking if you're on Liael. But if your opponent's grade 3 or greater, it gets +10 instead, and then you can either take a card from your drop and put it into your soul, or put it to the bottom of your deck. So that does help if you feel like you're struggling out with deck outs, which I've never personally struggled with, but I think that's a nice option. But the important thing is you can put cards into the soul, meaning we can run a couple cards that actually soul blast out our stuff. So to show that, we have 4 copies of, I don't, is it Ravos? I think it's Ravos. 3 copies of Ravos. So Ravos gets us the Persona Shield ticket for a Soul Blast 1 when we discard him, or if we just call him to rearguard, which is really nice because it's just a free 10k shield. And 3 copies of Steam Performer Liael. So Liael is what she's discarded during the ride phase. You Soul Blast 1, you add it you call it back to field, and if you have a regress gauge, it gets 5k shield. But you need to have Destined Timepiece when you discard this, so you can't discard it for grade 1 because it will miss the timing. But like grade 2, grade 3, it's just a free buy to grab back, which is really cool. We're able to play these Soul Blast 1s because of this grade 2, which I know a lot of people say, no, you can just soul charge with Bane. The issue with soul charging with Bane is you're not guaranteed to soul charge a not trigger. So you could soul charge your crit triggers, you could soul charge your over trigger a lot, which you can do in a pinch. There's nothing wrong with doing it in a pinch, but it doesn't feel. It feels like you're like gambling to get a resource back that you easily could have gotten back off of this. So I try to leave that as a last resort. But that is the start of the grade 1s and the finish of the grade 2s. Moving on to the rest of the grade 1s, these have not really changed, but have changed. We're playing 4 of the Tick Down Dragon because searching out for grade 3s is really nice. We're down to 3 Arrestor, which feels like a crime, and I feel like I gotta like add them back, but that's kind of where we're at right now. We do need the space, so playing 3 isn't horrible. It feels very like wrong. And of course, for perfect guards, not a lot to say there. I'm really looking forward to the new art of Arlim when it comes out in the Legendary Vanguards to go in this deck. Um, the biggest change to the actual main deck that we have here is you can tell we're not playing Philia anymore, and we're not playing the grade 2 Colossus, which feels very weird and wrong because they had like a really nice little synergy going with each other, just getting you extra cards. Uh, but right now, that build would probably be better for if everyone in the meta want to go second, but a lot of people are going to want to start going first, so we kind of need to tailor around to that. I know there's some people that are running extra copies of cyclers, like they're running Tizcars. I think I've seen a couple people running Lamina. You don't need those cards, in my opinion. I just don't think they're worth the resource it takes to get them. And then the trigger count has not changed because we're playing Red OT. We're playing 8 critical triggers. We're playing 3 fronts, and we're playing 4 heals. Uh, Not a lot to say on the trigger count. I don't think this is ever changing. I will say, with the addition of the new Dual Nation Grade 2, you do have the option to play draw triggers instead of fronts because you can stop yourself from decking out. But fronts are just really good, and I don't see why you wouldn't play them. But you do have the option without worrying about deck out now because of the new Dual Nation Grade 2. But yeah, that's it for this profile. Nothing super crazy. Really excited to show off the rest of the stuff from set 13. I got a lot. I'm probably going to be recording a lot today and just dropping it throughout the week. Uh, but I don't want to tell you guys that Wednesday is going to be the next upload date just because of the fact that uh, my job has like inventory and I don't know how long I'll be there on Wednesday because I'll actually be there on Wednesday for once, which I'm not necessarily looking forward to. But uh, there should be more. Obviously, the big one I want to cover next will be Zorga Phantom because that's my favorite Phantom deck so far. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. I'll see you guys later.